Welcome back, Boston Celtics fans, to another incredibly massive and deeply analytical episode where we break down the absolute most important front office masterclass that just officially took place behind the scenes. We are skipping the long introductions today and diving straight into the absolute most pivotal roster update of the entire season, because the architect of this incredible Boston Celtics roster, Brad Stevens, has just pulled off the ultimate salary cap magic trick right before the regular season finale. For the very first time in this entire 2025 to 2026 National Basketball All-Association season, the Boston Celtics finally possess a completely full 15-man roster. This monumental completion happened right after the front office officially signed an old friend in Dalano Banton to a fresh 2-year deal on Saturday afternoon. Now the league officially mandates that all professional teams must constantly maintain at least 14 players on their ACT roster, with a strict maximum limit of 15 players, along with 3 additional players operating on 2-way contracts. A casual basketball observer tuning into the games might genuinely wonder exactly why the Boston Celtics front office has strategically opted to go through the vast majority of this grueling regular season without fully maximizing their available roster spots. Casual fans might incorrectly think that the organization is simply leaving some crucial food on the table or failing to surround Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with the maximum amount of depth possible. But the absolute truth of the matter is that this entire complex situation has been a brilliantly calculated part of a massive front office master plan all along. Brad Stevens and his elite group of executives completely tipped their hand very early in the chaotic off-season by executing massive blockbuster trades involving star players like Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. While those specific moves were incredibly difficult for the passionate fan base to process at the time, they were clearly and undeniably based entirely on shedding massive amounts of guaranteed salary to reset the financial books under the highly restrictive new collective bargaining agreement. Those initial massive financial moves continued throughout the entire season, with repeated smaller transactional swaps deliberately removing just a little bit of salary at a time and slowly getting the organization closer and closer to their ultimate financial goal of getting completely below the dreaded luxury tax line. They finally managed to successfully get there, with their final massive MOV being officially reported right after the chaotic trade deadline passed, by brilliantly swapping the explosive scorer Anthony Simons to acquire the veteran presence of Nikola Vucevic, and then subsequently dumping the salaries of Josh Minott, Xavier Tillman Sr. and Chris Boucher. The front office successfully wiggled their way to just a tiny hair below the highly punitive luxury tax line. But the exhausting mathematical work was far from completely done for the Boston front office, because they absolutely had to legally stay below that specific financial line throughout the entire end of the regular season. And they suddenly found themselves with multiple empty roster spots that desperately needed to be filled to comply with league rules. Since the official trade deadline passed, the Celtics have been brilliantly gaming the complex league system as much as legally possible, utilizing numerous 10-day contracts, converting 2-way deals to standard contracts, and meticulously staying below the minimum 14-player threshold for absolutely every single possible day of the 28 total days allowed by the strict NBA rulebook. Right here in the very middle of this massive front office breakdown, if you are truly enjoying our daily deep dives into the strategic side of the Boston Celtics, and you want to stay completely updated on all the absolute best basketball coverage PLEs, take a quick second right now to passionately hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, because your continuous daily support is exactly what allows us to keep bringing you the most detailed basketball analysis available anywhere. Getting right back into the genius of Brad Stevens and his incredible staff, we have to look at exactly what happened on the absolute eve of the regular season finale. The Celtics have finally and officially filled out the entire roster to prepare for the grueling playoff run. They have now successfully converted Amari Williams, Max Shulga, and Ron Harper Jr. FR owned their respective 2-way contracts straight onto the actual official playoff roster. And then they strategically used the final 15th spot to bring back the versatile Dalano Banton, who was actually just here last month operating on a 2-way deal, and who was deeply embedded with the team for the entire first half of the previous 2023 to 2024 season. As the highly respected basketball salary cap expert Keith Smith recently pointed out, Brad Stevens actually revealed right at the trade deadline that his specific executive group, including mathematical geniuses Lee Key, Mike Zarin, Dave Lewin, and Buddy Scott, had a highly specific master plan perfectly in place, with absolutely everything meticulously timed out and sequenced perfectly to make all the complex math work flawlessly. Officially signing Banton is the absolute final piece of this massive financial puzzle, and it will miraculously leave the Boston Celtics a mere $11,000 below the incredibly punitive luxury tax threshold. Now we all know that we are all passionate fans of the game of basketball and not necessarily fans of complex accounting and spreadsheet math, but this is undeniably some absolute incredible and historic work executed by the front office. Resetting the luxury tax clock will definitively give the Boston Celtics organization a massive competitive and financial advantage going forward when it comes to long-term roster building around their superstar core. As for exactly what Dalano Banton brings to the hardwood, he is obviously not highly likely to consistently factor into the primary playoff rotation when the G-aims slow down and the pressure skyrockets. But he is an absolutely proven NBA commodity who brings massive size and elite versatility to the end of the bench. Standing at a towering 6'8" and currently 26 years old, he operates as a massive jumbo point guard who can confidently handle the basketball, easily get all the way to the cup through traffic, and shoot the ball a little bit while providing some very solid and highly disruptive perimeter defense. If things were to unfortunately fly completely off the rails due to unexpected injuries or foul trouble during a playoff series, Banton could absolutely step in and help the team survive for a crucial stretch here and there without the offensive system completely collapsing. He also inherently possesses incredibly great familiarity with the current team structure and the coaching staff from his multiple previous stints wearing the green uniform. He has always been incredibly well liked by the passionate fans in the stands and heavily respected by his peers deep inside the locker room culture. Respected basketball insider Michael Scotto recently reported that it is officially a 2-year deal for the returning guard. But THE's second year of the contract is highly likely completely non-guaranteed, which gives the front office even more future flexibility. Still, every single championship contending team absolutely needs reliable and positive end-of-bench guys to keep the locker room energy high, and Banton may honestly be one of the absolute best ones around for this specific team dynamic. There is certainly a massive chance that he will be right back here next season serving as a highly valued veteran leader and the ultimate supportive teammate waving a towel on the sidelines as the Boston Celtics continue their relentless pursuit of another glorious championship banner.